Welcome to TechTalk Coast to Coast. This is an episode where I'm going to show you how to host on the Mac. Different features of handling breakout rooms, even streaming live if you want to. So let's launch Zoom.
Zoom.us, Zoom Workplace with.
Of course, Zoom is slow. Okay, the first thing we got to do, of course, is start a meeting.
Settings, Zoom, Zoom, share, schedule meeting, join meeting, start new meeting options. Start a new meeting with video off.
You see these options. You have the opportunity to switch your meetings. If you have a paid account then, or even a free account, you can set these up.
Start new meeting options. Start a new meeting with video off.
Okay, so I'm going to start this meeting with my video off.
System dialog. Connecting.
Before we get into hosting breakout rooms and things of that nature, we got to go through the initial setup. So if you have not done it before, then you would have to go into your system settings, or I'm sorry, your app settings, excuse me. So would you do that? We're going to do Command, comma.
Category list, row 1 of 12, general, selected.
All right, and the first category is general. I mean, you can go through these. I'm just going to point out a couple.
Search, category list, in category video and effects, selected.
Video and effects, that's where you would go to adjust stuff with your camera, yada, yada, yada.
Audio, selected.
Now, audio is an important one because this is where you would go to select your headset, your microphone, what the volume you're going to be out, if you want original sound on or not, whatever the case may be.
Notifications and sounds, selected.
Notifications and sounds. This is where you're going to go to, if you're hosting, you want to hear when somebody raises their hand, I guess when somebody comes in and out, depending on how busy the meeting's going to be. So, this is one, if I'm doing my own stirred up thing, I turn all these alerts off. I do not want to hear somebody coming in and out of the meeting while I'm trying to teach or present.
Meetings and webinars, selected.
Meetings and webinars, this is where you're going to go to do some settings. I think this one has where if you want to come in muted, your camera off, stuff of that nature, stuff that I definitely set up initially because I don't want somebody to catch me in my robe or hear me eating. It doesn't matter anyway because I don't have a camera on my Mac, but just saying.
Recording, selected.
That's if you're going to record it. You can go in here and pick where you want your recording to be. If you want it in the cloud, or if you're going to record locally, where you want that folder to go.
Share screen, selected.
Share screen, pretty self-explanatory. You can go in here and adjust them settings. So, although you can do that when you pick share screen with Command-Shift-S also.
Team chat, selected. Accessibility, selected.
All right, accessibility. This is where you want to go because this is where you're gonna hear all the other alerts. So let's stop interacting.
Out of category, accessibility.
And I'm just going to jump over to the table because all the other stuff before that is not essential. It's basically for a visual user, for contrast, brightness, stuff like that. Stuff you can look at, when you need to. I don't need it, so I'm skipping it.
Accessibility.
So here's accessibility.
Accessibility. Inaccessibility.
I'm going to interact, and now I'm going to jump over to the table where the alerts are.
Closed captioning typing privilege granted revoked off switch.
You heard that. Set it's off. So we're in the table of the accessibility / screen reader alerts, they call it. I'm all the way at the bottom, so we're just going to work our way up and listen to what VoiceOver says.
Closed captioning typing privilege granted revoked off switch. Remote control permission granted revoked off switch. Co-host privilege granted revoked on switch. Host privilege granted revoked on switch. Recording permission granted revoked off switch. Private in meeting chat received off switch. Public in meeting chat received off switch. IM chat received off switch. Live stream started stopped off switch. Closed captioning is available off switch. In meeting file upload completed off switch. Screen sharing started stopped by a participant off switch. Video stopped by host. Audio muted by host off switch. Participant has raised lowered hand. Panelist only, on switch. Participant has joined left waiting room, host only, off switch. Participant has joined left meeting, host only, on switch. Restore. Always show captions in meetings and webinars. Automatically display captions when available, without needing to enable them each time. Off switch.
All right, so you heard all the screen reader alerts. You can either toggle them on or off depending on your situation. If you're going to be teaching or presenting, I turn everything off until it's time because you can change them on the fly. These is a lot of options that's not available on the iPad or iOS app. So these are definitely settings that you want to set up. Now, they're one and done. So that means if you come in here and you change them, if you don't come back and adjust them for a different type of meeting, you're not going to be wondering, why am I not hearing the alert sound for coming in and out? Why am I not hearing somebody raise or lower their hand? Is this person muted? Whatever the case may be. So make sure that you come into your Zoom settings, interact with the table, go all the way down to accessibility, stop interacting, and jump over to screen reader alerts. All
Zoom
right.
meeting window.
Some key commands to be aware of. I mean, you can go in the menu bar and find them, but Control Command M will mute all. Command Shift A will unmute yourself. I think it's Command Shift V will start your video. Let's see.
Start video.
Yep.
Start video.
And I don't have any video, so that's why I keep saying that. Or no camera. Anyway, Command Control U is to ask all to unmute. And there's some other ones, but of course, if you want to set your preferences, just do Command comma, go into the sidebar and go to the category of your choice. You can also pick your default cloud recording location. Well, here's our meeting options. I'll go through them a little slower, or slowly, so you can hear. But I pretty much told you everything that you need.
Meeting. Full screen Command Shift F. Keep on top. Enter minimal view Command Shift M.
Keep in minimal view. Command Shift M. You do not want that because it hides all your controls. Unless, of course, you have a co-host or two and you want to let them do all the work. But doing the meeting yourself, you do not want that view. Trust me when I tell you.
Gallery view Command Mute all Command Control M. Message it.
Yep. Command Control M.
Ask all to unmute Command Control U.
Command Control U.
Unmute audio Command Shift A. Start video Command Shift V. Switch camera Command Shift N. Start share Command Shift S.
Yep, you can share with Command Shift S.
Invite ellipsis Command I. Copy invite link Command Shift I.
I use that one a lot. I'll be in a meeting, somebody be like, I don't have the link. So I'll just Command Shift I, bam. It copies it to the clipboard. I'll paste it into a message and send it to them.
Record to this computer Command Shift R.
Command Shift R.
Record to the cloud Command Shift C.
And that's a toggle for both. So if you want to stop the recording, you just do it again.
Record to the...
And that's it. Them are pretty much all. Let me see.
Menu bar edit. Window. Edit view.
That's what a view has.
Show participants Command U. Show chat Command Shift H. Show chat Command Shift H. Show chat.
Yep, so chat Command Shift H.
Show participants Command U.
Yep, that's all that's in view.
Cliff Zoom meeting.
All right, so now that we've looked at the menu bar where the options are and it gives you key commands, that's where you can always go if you forget. But let's go down here, make sure the participants list is hidden. We're going to do Command U.
Show participants list, participant, click.
And right now it's showing it, so I'm going to stop interacting and I'm going to hide it again.
Cliff Zoom meeting.
All right, it says my Zoom meeting, so I'm going to jump down here to the bottom. However you choose to do it is up to you. If you have a magic Apple keyboard, you can hold down Function and VO keys and hit the right arrow and it'll go down there. I have a Commander because I have a Logitech keyboard and I'm going to jump all the way down to the right.
And
is at the end so where I can end the meeting.
More meeting controls.
More meeting controls is what you want.
More meeting controls. Press Tab to navigate between the meeting controls. System dialog.
It claims you can push Tab. I don't use Tab because that's Windowish to me. Personal preference, you want to do it, then go ahead. I write the right arrow.
Record 6 of 17. Not show captions. Set breakout rooms 8 of 17.
All right, there we are. Breakout room. I'm going to VO space bar here.
Breakout rooms. Not breakout. Create one breakout room.
Now, this is where it says create one breakout room. And you would think over here.
Increment arrow.
That you could interact with this increment arrow. But you can't. It beeped at me.
1. Content selected. Create one breakout room.
But see, here I can either type the number 4 or however many breakout rooms I want.
4. Increment 4. Create 4 breakout rooms. Edit text.
Or I could delete that.
1.
It'll go back to 1. And I could interact here.
In edit text 1.
And watch what happens. In an edit field, I guess you would call this a edit combo, as Windows would say. But I can actually up arrow and it will increase them.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm doing that to
create 7.
I'm doing that with the arrow key, folks.
6, 5, 4, 2, 3, 4.
I'm going to leave it on 4.
Create 4.
Because that's probably the customary what people use with hosting different events these days.
3. Create 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, let's leave it on 4.
Create 4 breakout.
Stop interact.
How to create 4 breakout rooms. Assign automatically. Selected. Radio button.
All right, you can assign automatically.
Assign manually. Let participants choose room. Radio button.
And that's the option that I like to have.
Selected. Create.
And then you hit create. VL spacebar, or if you're using QuickNav like me, up and down arrow together. All right. So the breakout rooms are created, but they're not live. So it gives you the opportunity to rename them. So let's deal left arrow.
Breakout rooms. Not started.
Yeah, it says not started.
Zoom. Breakout room list.
All right. This is an edit, or not an edit, but this is a scroll area. It doesn't say it because my hints are, my verbosity is down, but this is an interaction area where it says breakout room. So I'm going to interact here.
In breakout room list, room 2, rename, delete room, assign room 2.
All right. You hear all the options. So I'm going to go back to room 1.
Room 1, rename, delete room, assign room 1.
All right. I'm going to interact here.
In room 1, rename.
I'm going to VL spacebar on rename.
Room 1, rename.
And then I can just type the name. We'll just call it Justin.
Selection replace J. Justin.
Don't ask me why I picked that. Once you're done with renaming, you just hit enter.
Rename breakout rooms. Not started. System.
Then it goes back to the list of breakout rooms.
Breakout rooms. Not breakout room. In break.
So I got to re-interact.
Room 2, rename, delete room.
So I got to re-interact with room 2.
In room, rename.
Rename.
Room 2, content selected. Rename room. Edit text. Rename. Selection. Pig.
Big banana. Don't ask me why.
Bana. Space pig. Bana. Space pig. Banana.
There we go. Now I just hit enter.
Rename breakout rooms. Not started. System type. Options. Breakout room lit.
Back to the scroll area where breakout rooms are. Interact.
In breakout room, room 3, rename.
Gotta re-interact here to rename
in
room 3.
Rename. Room 3, content select live. Rename breakout rooms.
Remember, when you VL spacebar on rename, it automatically drops you into the edit field. You do not have to delete the room name that's currently there, because once you start typing, it will automatically delete it. Once you get done typing the name you want it to be, you hit enter and it takes you back to the area where the breakout rooms are. And remember, you have to interact again. So
breakout room list,
where it says breakout room list, that's where you have to interact at. I don't know what your verbosity set at, but mine's set not to tell me about scroll areas and tables and stuff like that, because I know where they are.
In breakout room 4, rename, live reading,
that used to be room 3.
Room 4, rename.
All right, room 4 is the last one I got to rename.
In room 4, rename. Room 4, content selected, rename room, edit text, selection replay anything. Rename breakout rooms. Not started. System.
All right. I got all my breakout rooms renamed. Let me go double check though.
Breakout room list.
There it is. Breakout room list. I'm going to interact.
In live reading. Big banana. Justin. Big live reading. Anything goes. Anything.
All right. No more all my breakout rooms. So I'm going to stop interacting.
Out options.
Here's my options, but we already looked at those. That was basically letting everybody pick the room they want to go to, assign automatically, things of that nature. That's what's in those options. We looked at them before we even picked how many rooms we wanted to start. So we on right arrow.
Recreate.
I could recreate if I don't like them.
Add room.
I could add another room if I want to.
Open all rooms.
Open all rooms.
Open all rooms.
And that's the last option. So I'm going to hit the old spacebar.
Breakout all participants in ZM on Zoom.us has new system dialog.
So it says, when you first open the breakout rooms, even though you selected the choice of letting participants pick which one they want to go to or sign themselves, it's going to send everybody. It's going to send everybody that's in the meeting currently an invite to go to a breakout room. They can ignore it or they can accept it, however they choose to do. But that's how you create the breakout rooms.
Switch breakout rooms.
So I could progress. So it says they're in progress. So I'm
Zoom minimize, close all rooms, add room.
I could close all rooms, add another room here.
Broadcast.
I could broadcast, which I was told that if you go in here, you can send a message to everybody via text message or live chat or whatever to the breakout rooms.
Plan next session.
You could plan your next session, of course.
Options. Breakout room list.
And here's the breakout room list again.
Switch. Breakout room. Zoom. Close. More meet. Breakout room.
So I closed that option, but what I want to show you here is
more meeting control.
under more meeting controls.
More meeting react. React share. Forbes host tool record. Show captions. Breakout rooms. Polls quizzes. Docs. Notes. Whiteboards. Apps. Third live stream. 14 of 16.
You can live stream directly to. Let's see what the options are.
Menu win. Live on Facebook. Live on YouTube. Live on Twitch. Separator cell. Remind new participants to watch live stream. Remind.
All right, so you can go to Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook Live. So I have a audio hijack session that does all that for me, so I usually don't go to that. But I just wanted to show you that for people who may want to broadcast more if they're hosting their own account or whatever the case may be.
Live stream.
So, again, to create the breakout rooms, the participants list has to be hidden, and you have to go into more
meeting controls.
More meeting controls. There you will find the breakout room option to create. Remember, you can interact, or you can punch the number of how many breakout rooms you want. You know what? Create breakout rooms, go back to the list, rename each, and then send the meetings or the rooms live. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Remember, to lower somebody's hand, you just have to stop interacting with the participants table and go over to the lower hand option, or you could go directly to them in the participants list, depending on how many people you have, because sometimes it could be 50, 60 people, but if it's only 9 or 10, maybe 20, you could just go find that person and interact there and lower their hand. So that, my folks, is how to host a Zoom meeting on the Mac. To do a demo for you on the iPad to show you that the menu bar makes you feel like you're using a Mac laptop, desktop, whatever. I mean, I got the Mac Pro, but I ain't never owned that, and I have no desire to. I mean, unless of course I'll have a job with Paramount or Universal Studios. Anyways, let's go ahead and go to Mail.
Suggest Face, Chat, G, Doc, Google, Media, Finance, and Shop, Business folder, Communication folder.
As you can see, I got all my apps in folders. We'll cover that later in the course, I'm sure.
Opening communication.
Or maybe not, because that was done in voiceover in and out.
Phone,
Anyways.
1 new messages, 4 unread message, mail, 7 unread emails.
All right. So what you got here is your mailboxes. I'm going to VO right arrow.
Hide sidebar, button.
And this is all being done with the keyboard. I'm not swiping on the screen at all.
Selected, iCloud. Family email, bits ACB, ACB used, Phantom Gmail, VIP. Send later.
Okay. So those are my main accounts, inboxes. It's kind of funny because on my Mac, I use the unified inbox, but on my phone and my iPad, I absolutely hate it. But so if you continue to VO right arrow.
Star private mail, iCloud, button, expanded.
All right, you see it says expanded.
Swipe up or down to
voiceover. I don't need everything said. Anyways, you see that it's expanded.
ACB, 3 unread, Amazon devotionals.
These are
Domain,
all my
Google, Office materials, night receipts, 5
These are all my folders within iCloud.
Rest, strict tech priority, family email, Cliff Gmail, button, collapsed.
You hear that says
Double
collapsed?
with Phantom Gmail, button, collapsed.
Collapsed.
Bits ACB, 2 unread messages, button, collapsed.
So if I VO space bar, I will expand those. So, but let's go back up here.
Edit, button.
So we're going to go to, let's go to an inbox. Let's go.
Inbox. Swipe, drafts, 3 unread, sent. Junk. Bin, 3 unread, archive. $ACB, 3 unread messages, $sign shopping, 10 unread messages.
All right, I got 10 messages in here. Let's check this out. So I'm going to VO space bar here.
Selected, $sign shopping, 10 unread messages.
Now, it still says that I'm in mailboxes list, but if I just hit the down arrow.
$sign shopping eCloud, heading.
All right, there it is. You hear it said heading. Now, I pushed the down arrow once. If for some reason that it doesn't go down, you always got
containers, screen recognition containers.
You got containers, and that will always take you to the section that's selected.
Enter full screen, button.
It says enter full screen. That tells me that I'm at the top of the message. The message list, I should say. So when you open a folder, it has you in the, it shows the folder highlighted.
Sent. Jump bin, select ACB, 3, selected, $sign shopping, 10 unread messages.
So you say it says dollar shopping, because that's what this folder is called, and it says selected. So all I should have to do here is push the down arrow.
$shopping eCloud. Heading.
All right, you heard the name of the folder and it said heading. That tells me that I'm at the top of the messages that skipped over all those other accounts and folders that I would have normally had to swipe through. If by some chance it doesn't go directly to that heading of the name of the folder, just switch your rotor to the containers, hit the down arrow, and it will happen. So let's VO right arrow.
Select button.
But in this case, it's I'm just hitting the right arrow because I use quick nav to toggle that on and off. It's the left and right arrows together, and you will hear
arrow key quick nav off, arrow key quick nav on, arrow key quick nav on.
Okay, mine says the sound and the tells me that quick nav is on and off. You can go into settings, accessibility, voiceover, quick nav, and you can set that to either be sounds, both like I have, or just to say it. So right arrow.
Toggle filter off button.
I can toggle my filter on, but I don't want to.
10 unread.
All right, so here we go with the messages.
Messages unread. Papa John's fuel up for less with Papa Pairings smiling face.
Yeah, I'm a Papa John's reward member.
Unread. Burger King who doesn't look unread. Wingstop get 2 free star tenders party popper emoji. Double dip on a fan fave.
All right, so I'm 2 messages in. I'm on the 3rd message, so I'm going to VO spacebar, but in my case it's up and down arrow together because I'm using quick nav.
Selected. Unread.
Now
selected. Wingstop get 2 free star tenders party popper emoji. Double dip on a fan fave. Friday.
You heard that noise. That means it opened up the message. Let's deal just right arrow.
Unread. Papa John's Friday just got.
Okay, so
selected. Wingstop get 2.
There's the message that's highlighted. Just like when I open the mailbox, it's highlighted, but it's not at the message. But if I hit the down arrow by itself,
mark as unread.
Okay, it didn't do it.
Activate default.
So in this case, you would have to use your rotor, the right arrow, and the up arrow. And go to containers.
Edit. Headings. Containers.
There it is. I'm going to hit the down arrow, and this should land me at the top of the message.
Enter full screen button.
And there it is. Enter full screen is your indication that you're at the top of where you want to be.
Compose button. Reply button. Reply all button. Forward button. Delete button. Move button. Search dictate button. Summarize. 1 message header. This message is from a mailing. Unsubscribe close. Wing to Friday. Get wing view menu. Link order now. Link get 2 free tenders worth 15.
So there's the message. It's open. But again, whenever you highlight a message, hitting the down arrow, we're not hitting the down arrow. Turning your rotor to containers and then hitting the down arrow will get you to the top of that message. And that way you will not have to scroll through all the other messages that are there. So I'm going to give you a little cheat code here. So to go to the top of your window is Control and the up arrow.
Edit button.
That got me all the way back to the top.
Hide sidebar button.
It's asking me if I want to hide the sidebar.
iCloud.
Now,
Swipe up or down to select a custom action.
Normally I would, but this is where I want to show you.
$shopping eCloud. Heading.
Bam. I hit the down arrow and it put me at the top of that folder that I already had open again. It skipped over all the expanded folders that I had open. It skipped over all the accounts that I had. It took me all the way down.
Select button. Toggle 9 mess selected. Wingstop get unread. Burger King unread. Habit unread. Selected. Wingstop get.
And right there, you see that message is still selected. And I can either up arrow, delete, or
activate default.
Or I can just hit the backspace button, which is right in the last button on the 2nd row, all the way to the right. So I can just hit that.
Unread. Papa John's.
And you see that message, that Wingstop message is gone now.
Unread. Burger King who doesn't look unread. Papa 9 unread.
And there's nothing selected. So let's go back up here to the top with control up arrow again.
Edit button. Hide sidebar button.
Now, hide sidebar, you can actually, I prefer to do it this way because it's kind of an awkward key command. But if you want to do it with the keyboard, it is Control, Command, and the letter S. It would be better if there was a control key on the right side of the keyboard for the iPad, but there is not. So if you want to do it with the keyboard, it is Command, Control, S. Otherwise,
edit, hide sidebar button.
I can just VO spacebar here.
Hide sidebar.
And what that means is it's hiding all the accounts and expanded folders in iCloud. Now when I go up to the
show
top,
sidebar button.
It says show sidebar, and if I right arrow,
$shopping eCloud heading.
There's the name of my folder. So while we're in here, man, I wish these sinuses would go away. But anyway, while we're in here, I'm going to show you how to use the menu bar. So I'm going to hold down the globe key, FN key, whatever you want to call it. but it's the key that's all the way to the left on the bottom of your keyboard if you're using an Apple keyboard. If you're using a third-party keyboard, you'll have to make sure that keyboard has the function or globe key on it and then use it to open up the menu bar. So I'm going to hit that. I'm going to hold that down and hit the letter M, and let's hear what happens.
Menu bar, mail window controls, button.
Menu bar window controls. All right. Let's hit the right arrow.
Mail, button.
That's mail. Now, if you've come from Mac OS, you already know. When you open up your menu bar, the first two things are always going to be the same. It's going to be
window controls.
Well, on here, it's going to be Windows Control, but on Mac OS, it'll be the Apple menu. But on here, it's Windows Control, but the second menu will always be the app that you're in, which is
Mail, button.
All right, there's Mail. So what do you hear here?
File, button.
Wonder where we heard that before.
Edit, button.
That too, edit.
View, button.
View, how about that?
Mailbox, button.
Mailbox.
Message, button.
Message.
Format, button.
All that.
Window,
see,
button.
This is all stuff that you would see on Mac OS if you went to the menu bar there. So I'm going to do globe / function, whatever you want to call it, key M again to close this toolbar or menu bar.
Mail,
You heard that
$sign shopping eCloud, heading.
You heard that little sound to indicate that it was closed. Now, I'm not going to go through all the commands because you can go in the menu bar as I just showed you to do so. But a new message is Command N. To reply is Command R. To reply all is Command Shift R. To send your message is Command D. If you're in a folder and you want to select all your messages, Command A. Then you just hit the delete key and they're gone. You don't have to go make sure they're selected. Because it's going to tell you how many messages you selected anyway. If you want to go to your mailboxes, let's see.
Show sidebar, button.
I got to show my sidebar first, but
Show sidebar.
right.
Edit, button. Hides iCloud. Family email for iCloud.
But if I hit the number 2, it should take me to my second account. Command and the number 2.
Hide sidebar. iCloud. Selected. Family email. 5 unread messages.
And there it is. It's selected and it opened it.
Bits ACB. 2 unread messages.
So
Screen recognition. Off. Voices. Voiced speaking. Words. Character. Edit. Headings. Containers.
I'm on containers, so I'm going to hit the down arrow.
Inbox family email. Heading.
There it is.
Toggle filter. Off. Button.
Already expanded for me. Now I'm looking at my family email inboxes.
More. Button. Updated just now. Messages. Unread. Whoop.com. Daily Digest. Amazon Kindle Scribe or Papa White.
Apparently, Whoop got a deal on some Kindle stuff.
Delete. Deleted. Amazon.com. Give your opinion.
Okay. So, and if I want to go to, let me see, I think my VIPs is number 5. So if I'm going to go to my VIPs, I'll do Command 5.
No messages.
And it says no messages, but let's see what's highlighted here.
Edit. Hides. iCloud. Family. Bits ACB. Selected. VIP. Selected. Phantom Gmail.
Oh, no, that's one of my Gmail accounts. But let me hit the down arrow and see if it drops me down there like it's supposed to.
Inbox Phantom Gmail. Heading.
And it did. Bam. So when you select these inboxes with these keyboard or these accounts, I should say, with these commands, command 1 through whatever I think it'll go all the way up to 9, but you got 9 accounts, then you either got a lot of work to do or a lot of free time on your hands. But anyways, to each their own, personal preference. Anyways, but command 1 through 5 will definitely give you your mailbox account to jump to. I wish they had a way for you to add favorites like they did on the Mac so you can customize them. Maybe that'll come in another update, but right now it doesn't do that. All right, so let me go back to the menu bar here, and I'm going to let VoiceOver do the talking for me.
Menu bar. Mail. Window. Mail. Button. File. Button. Edit. Button. File. Button. New message. Command. N. But new viewer window. Option. Command. A. Open message. Command. O. Button. Close window. Command. W. Button. Attach file. Shift. Command. A. Dimmed. Button. Print. Command. Key. Dimmed. But dismiss context menu. Button. Menu bar. Mail. Window controls. Button. Mail. Button. File. Button. Edit. Button. View. Button. Command. L. Button. PCC address field. Option. Command. B. Dimmed. Enable message filter. Command. L. But B. Customize toolbar. Button. Hide sidebar. Control. Command. S. Button. Dismiss context menu. Button. Dismiss context menu. Button. Mail. Toggle filter. Off. Button. More. Button. Menu bar. Mail. Tuesday. 09. Window controls. Button. Tuesday. 1:36 a.m. 1:30 Tuesday. Window. Mail. Button. File. Button. Edit. Button. View. Button. Mailbox. Button. Shift. Command. N. Button. Get all new mail. Shift, Command, N, but mark all messages as read, dimmed, button. Go to favorite mailbox, button, collapsed. Double move to favorite mailbox, button, collapsed. Go to mailbox category, button, collapsed. Go to previous mailbox, control, command, left square bracket, button. Go to next mailbox, control, command, right square bracket, but dismiss context menu, button. Mail, more, button.
So as you can see, there's a lot of options there. If you did the in the view menu where it says go to favorites and that said collapse, it was just going to show you that you could do command 1 through how many accounts you have on here to go to. Another one it had that's interesting is command shift A to attach a file. So if you're in an email and you need to send a file to somebody, you could do command shift A, and that will drop you right into your files menu. You can pick the file you want to attach, select it, and bam, it's attached to that email. What was the other one that I wanted to touch on? It said to open an email is command O. Ick. That's Windowish for me. Anyway, all you got to do is VO space bar or up and down arrow with quick nav on, and it will open the email. You want to do command O, more power to you. To each their own. So that's the mail app. Let's go to messages. Even though Trainer Matt stole a little bit of my thunder on this one on Wednesday of last week, but we gonna go there.
Messages. 6 unread messages.
All right, messages. Here we go.
Arrow key quick enough.
And more times than not, when you come in here, it's gonna drop you in the edit field of the message that you've already been in. Again, in any window, any app, any application, any area that you are on the iPad, control up arrow will get you to the top.
Filter button.
And control down arrow will get you to the bottom.
Suggested. That's a relief.
So,
filter button.
If you select the conversation here.
Corin. Hind. Chug. Hind.
Let's do one here.
Shawnee E. Hart. Podcast 2025. Matt. Hind.
Here, let's
swipe up or down to select.
We got one more trainer Matt here. So, let's VO space bar on here, or up and down arrow in my case, because I use quick nav.
Arrow key quick nav off.
Now, you heard that noise, and you heard it say quick nav off. Technically, it's not off, but it's telling me that I can write. So, let's let Trainer Matt know we're doing a demo.
This is for the iPad. D keyboard.
And I'm going to hit enter to send. And if any of you guys are in my More to Mac class, you know if you want to add an extra line to something, a conversation or a text that you're sending, you got to use option and enter.
New line.
You heard it say new line. I was holding down the option key when I did that.
Add button. Messages. Notify anyway, but do not deliver quietly.
Well, apparently Matt don't want to hear from me because you got do not disturb on. But I could say
do not disturb. Matt, notify anyway button.
I could notify anyway, but I'm not going to mess with him. He got to go to church in the morning. So,
do not deliver your iMessage.
And there's some things that you could do here. Let's go to the menu bar in here. So if you hold down the letter or the globe / function key, whatever you want to call it, hit the letter M.
Menu bar, window controls, button.
Menu bar, and again, I'm going to let VoiceOver do the work here.
Messages, button. File, button. New message, command, N, button. Close window, command, W, button. Open conversation in new window, button. Print, command, key, button. Dismiss context menu, button. Dismiss print, open conversation, print, dismiss context menu, button. Messages, your iMac mobile service, 4 of 4 bars. Signals, clips, 100, 100, clips corner, 140 Tuesday, window messages, button. File, button. Edit, button. View, button. Show times, button. Selected, messages, control, command, 1, button. Unknown senders, control, command, 2, button. Recently deleted, control, command, 4, button. Filter by. Unread, control, command, U, button. Drafts, dimmed, button. Send later, dimmed, button. Dismiss context menu, button. Arrow format, button. Conversation, button. View, button. Conversation, button. Show details, option, command, I, button. Show contact card, option, command, B, button. Mark as unread, shift, command, U, button. Hide alerts, option, command, M, button. Block person, button. Delete conversation, button. Send email, option, send file, button. Send email, option, command, E, send file, button. Share my screen, button. Ask to share screen, button. FaceTime video, button. FaceTime audio, button. Call, 8, call +1, 8, call, 8, 1. Dismiss context menu, button. Mobile service, 404, help button. Window button, format button, conversation button, format button, bold command B button, italic command I button, underline command U button, strike through button, text effects, big option command 1 button, small option command 2 button, shake option command 3 button, nod option command 4 button, explode option command 5 button, ripple option command 6 button, bloom option command 7 button, jitter option command 8 button, dismiss context menu button. Messages Tuesday 09 Jan compose button.
As you can see, there's a lot of options there, but again, it's a menu bar. It's giving you options. If it has a command, it will tell you what it is. Again, Apple has made it seamless to give you the Mac OS feel on the iPad. And I'm telling you, anybody who knows me, Matt will tell you, I have bought and sold 2 or 3 iPad Pros before now. This one is here to stay because they have implemented the Mac OS experience on the iPad. This is my mobile device. This is what I use when I know I'm going to be gone. I take it to work with me, be on my iPad on public transportation at a coffee shop. I mean, this is I literally call it my mobile office, my orbit office, because, I'll be moving around. But when I'm at home, I'm on my Mac Studio, of course. But when I'm on the move, especially because the iPad has cellular data, this is what I use. So let's jump into one more app.
Church folder,
which is going to be the Files app.
Suggestions, WhatsApp.
Now, what I did there is these are my 3 most recently used apps, which is on my dock. But again, I used Control down arrow to jump that. Now, if I wanted to jump to the top,
church folder, 22 apps.
There's my church folder I have on my Bible apps, which is, matter of fact,
opening church folder, Bible, 1 new item.
Let me go read my verse of the
Double tap
day.
to open.
And the reason I'm
Selected,
doing this
Bible, home, tab,
is
1 of 5.
I actually haven't tested the Bible app on the iPad to see if it has menu bar option. But let me get my verse of the day real quick.
Bible, tab, 2 plans, discover, you, tab, select, good morning, Cliff, streak, 63, notifications, 1, verse of the day, 2 Peter 3, 9. Don't overlook the obvious here, friends. With God, 1 day is as good as 1,000 years, 1,000 years as a day. God isn't late with his promise as some measure lateness. He is restraining himself on account of you, holding back the end because he doesn't want anyone lost. He's giving everyone space and time to change. Like 3, 5, 9.
All right, so I'm going to jump down to the bottom with Control down arrow.
View all button. 2026 Easter chat badges. Teacher guide more guided day 60 verse of the day notifications streak.
All right, here's all my tabs.
Top bar selected home tab.
Okay, so in the Bible app, the tabs are at the top, not the bottom.
Bible tab 2 of plans tab discover you selected community 2.
Okay, so let's see if there's a menu bar.
Menu bar Bible window controls button. Bible button. File button. Edit button. Format button. View button. Window button. Help window view button. Show sidebar, control, dismiss context menu, dismiss context, show sidebar, dismiss context menu, button. Bible, active, community, 2 of 2, button. Mobile service, 4 of 4 bars, clips, media, 100% bat, 100%, 145, Tuesday, window controls, button. Bible, button. File, button. Edit, button. Format, button.
Let's go
edit, file, button.
View.
Bible, file, button. Edit, button, file,
no, we're going to go
button.
into file. Let's see what it's on.
No menu items, dimmed, dismiss context
You
menu.
heard it. It said no menu items. So no, the Bible app doesn't really have any menu
Bible,
items. So
community, church, heading.
Go
Closing church folder.
Get out of that app. All right, let's jump down here to my dock.
File, peak, drive, peak, files.
All right, let's
Double
go
tap
here to
to open.
files. All right.
Files, active, forwards, dimmed. More with the Mac 2026 drafts, actions menu, more, button.
All right, and again, I'm going to let VoiceOver do the work.
Menu bar, file, window controls, button. Tuesday 09 Jan, stated window files, button. File, button. Edit, button. View, button. Go, button. Window, button. Go, button. Back, command, left square bracket, dimmed, button. Forwards, command, right square bracket, dimmed. Enclosing folder, command, triangle arrow up, button. Recents, shift, command, F, button. Documents, shift, command, O, button. Desktop, shift, command, D, button. Downloads, option, command, L, button. On my iPad, shift, command, H, dimmed. iCloud Drive, shift, command, I, button. Shared, shift, command, S, button. Go to folder, shift, command, G, button. Connect to server, command, K, button. Dismiss context menu, button. Dismiss context menu, button. Files, more, button. Select, button. Mobile service, 4 of 4 bars, 147 Tuesday, window files, button. File, but files, button. File, button. New window. Command. New folder. Shift. Command. N. Button. New folder with selection. Control. Command. N. Open. Command. O. Dimmed. Open with. Button. Collapsed. Close window. Command. W. Button. Get info. Command. I. Dimmed. Button. Rename. Return left. Dimmed. Button. Compress. Dimmed. Button. Duplicate. Command. D. Dimmed. Quick look. Command. Y. Dimmed. Share. Dimmed. But show in enclosing folder. Command. Add to favorites. Control. Add to dock. Add to favorites. Control. Command. T. Dimmed. But add to dock. Control. Shift. Command. T. Dimmed. Button. Delete. Command. Backspace. Dimmed. But eject. Command. E. Dimmed. But scan documents. Button. Find. Command. F. Button. Dismiss context menu. Button. New window. Command. New fold. Open. Command. Open with. Button. Collapse. Close window. Command. Get info. Command. I. Dim. Rename. Return left. Dimmed. Button. Compress. Dimmed. But duplicate. Command. Quick look. Command. Y. Dimmed. Button. Files. Tuesday.
So as you can see here, we got a lot of different options. It said Command Shift L or Command Option L to go to downloads. Let's see if that works. Yeah, what folder are we in?
1:48 a.m. Tuesday 09 Jan. Status bar item. 15. Sync with iCloud. More. Button. Hide sidebar. Button. Recents. Button. Hide sidebar.
And so again in here, I'm pretty sure you can hit the down arrow.
Back. Button. See
And
folders you viewed.
And it's going to go to that, the first heading there. But
Screen recognition.
I'm going to switch mine to containers.
Voices. Voice speaking. Words. Characters. Headings. Containers. Forwards. Dimmed. Downloads. Select. Button.
And yes, it is. It's downloads.
Downloads. Actions.
All right. Now, so we can go to, we can go to our documents with Command Shift O. Let's try it.
More. Button.
Let's see.
Back. Button.
Where are we at?
Forwards. Dimmed. Documents. Actions menu.
There it is. We are in our documents folder. Well, all right. VoiceOver told the truth. Now that rename thing.
New list. Button. Full date modified. But more. Button. Hashtag logos. 5 items. Medical training. 7 items.
It says something about return left. I don't understand that. Let's see.
Documents. New lists. Folders. Button.
I'm going to have to ask Matt about that one.
Date more. Button.
Okay.
Hashtag logos.
But as you can see, you have a lot of options in the menu bar now that essentially for me, I don't know about anybody else, but it definitely speeds up my workflow on the iPad. And there, my folks, is your keyboard demonstration. This is Trainer Cliff. Stir it up. Today, we're going to talk about filtering, sorting, adjusting, whatever you want to call it, email into folders. Now, this is something that has to be done on your provider. Today, I'm going to show you iCloud. But if you want to do it through Gmail, I actually think you can do it through their app. Don't quote me on that because I don't use Gmail. Outlook, theirs has to be done on their web interface, but when it's done, it's done. You don't know, you never have to do it again unless you want to adjust the way the rules, filters, whatever are done. If you got a new sender or receiving mail from somebody different, then you have to go in there and adjust it that way. But once you set them, they're done. So let's go into my mail.
Utilities folder. Media. Find a communication folder.
As you can see, my apps are organized by folder, not 18 apps where I have to use Spotlight. I hate Spotlight.
Phone. Messages. To mail. No unread emails.
Now, it says I have no emails, which is not necessarily true. The new iOS filtered emails. Here, let me show you.
Mail.
Says I have no new mail, but I'll show you.
iCloud. Select. Button. More. Button. Search. Search field. Dictate. Button. Messages. Primary.
You got primary.
Actions available. Transactions.
Transactions.
Updates.
Updates.
Promotions.
Promotions.
Selected. All mail.
And I have
Actions available.
all those unselected so I can see all mail. But look at this.
Unread. Laura. Joy Food Sunshine.
See, I have a new mail.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's just one new message, but the badge item didn't tell me that. Now, had you listened to Trainer Matt, open up his email account, you might have heard 150, 350, depending on what day it was. It might have been 850 unread emails. He doesn't sort his email the same way I do, although he has a method and he will show that to you. It's called smart mailboxes with flags and tags and attachments and today and stuff like that. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about sorting mails directly into folders. So let's show you my folders first.
iCloud, back button. Mailbox,
So,
Cliff, start private mail, iCloud, button, expanded.
all right, you hear it say expanded.
Actions available.
So this is the root of my iCloud. So we're going to go through these folders.
Inbox, button. Drafts, 1 unread, sent, button. Junk, button. Trash, button.
All right, those are all the default folders
Actions
that
available.
can't be deleted, moved, or modified. So next is going to be my custom folders that I have created.
Archive, button. Apple everything, 3 unread messages, button.
All right, you see it said 3 on messages. Now, that's where everything groups.io goes, and it's mostly Apple stuff. Actually, it is all Apple stuff, so that's why I call it Apple Everything.
Bills, button.
That's where I have all my utilities,
Actions available.
bills, go, and receipts and things of that nature.
Devotionals, 2 unread messages, button.
That's where all my daily devotionals go from different pastors and churches and writers. They all go there.
Domain tasks, 1 unread message, button.
This is my
Actions available.
domain. I call it my domain tasks folder, but this is where my stir it up email goes. Anything that comes that's addressed to stiritup.com goes to this folder.
Google Groups, 34 unread messages, button.
Google Groups, that's where all my Google Groups things go.
Legal, 1 unread message. Office materials, 2 unread messages, button.
I was recently in an
Actions
office
available.
class and I wanted to sort all that stuff into a different folder, so that's where all my office stuff went.
Receipts, 12 unread messages, button.
And as you see, I have a receipts folder. Whenever I ride my door-to-door service, Cat Metro Access, or get something from Logitech, Apple, whatever, this is where it goes.
Recipes, 282 unread messages, button.
I think that one's pretty self-explanatory.
Actions available. Streams, button.
This is my streaming folder.
Actions
This is
available.
where I used to have all the email go that for my streaming services: Max, Paramount Plus, Netflix, Disney Plus, and Hulu, which are either one of those I don't have anymore. Don't use them, so I didn't resubscribe, even with the Black Friday deal that they have, 99 cents a year, or 99 cents a month for a year, and $3 to add on Disney Plus. So I just didn't feel the need to spend it anymore.
Tech priority, button.
Now, this is the folder that
Actions
we're going to
available.
focus on, called Tech Priority, because we're going to sort Pastor Matt's email into here because we don't like him, and we want his mail to be away from everybody else's. Nah, I'm joking. I love Matt is my other brother from another mother, just like my mentor, friend, and lifelong Mac trainer, the late, great John Panarese. Rest in peace. Anyway, so this is my folder structure. So, in order to sort your mail, you're going to have to go. Now, let me take a step back. There's been some emails flying around for the last couple of months telling people that you cannot sort iCloud. Now, listen to me. iCloud mail directly from your devices. And that's absolutely not true. The method that I'm about to show you, you can do on your iPad and your iPhone, iOS. On the Mac, I have not found where to do this at yet, so you do still have to go to Safari on there. But on iOS or iPhone and iPad, you can absolutely do this. You can set it and forget it. You can go and modify any way you want to. So if you see on a list that somebody says you can't sort iCloud mail on your device, that is just not true. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our settings,
Mail, no unread email. Doc, utilities folder, 32
which is in my utilities menu.
Utilities folder, 32 apps.
Utilities folder, excuse me.
Settings,
There it is.
settings.
And what I'm going to have to do is I have to go to my name, which is where my iCloud account is now called. It is now.
Clifton Miller Sr., Apple account, iCloud Plus, and more, button.
All right, you heard it. There's double tap.
Selected, Clifton Miller Sr., iCloud, 2 TB, button.
Now, what I'm looking, well, it actually, that's a little scary. This thing jumped down to the exact setting that I needed to go to, but let me show you what else you have to pass by to get to it.
Settings, back button, Apple account, heading, contact photo, button, Clifton Miller Sr. Cliff@storytop.com. Personal information, button, sign in and security, button, payment and shipping, mass subscriptions, button, iCloud, 2TB, button.
All right, and that's where I need to go. But you saw that you had the sign in security, your Apple account, and I think if you keep on going, it says subscriptions and stuff. Stuff that Trainer Matt has already gone over with you, so we don't need to touch on that.
iCloud Plus, heading.
All right, so you go in here. You heard it say iCloud Plus, and let me be clear. You cannot have iCloud Plus features, which is your own domain, private relay, and a couple other things that I can't think of off the top of my head, unless you subscribe to iCloud Plus, which is a plan that's 99 cents or more. You can get 50 gigabytes for 99 cents a month. You can get 200 for $2.99, and I think it jumps all the way up to 2 terabytes, 4 terabytes, 6, and then 12 terabytes respectively. So remember, no iCloud Plus features without paying for the monthly subscription.
Clifton Miller Sr. iCloud, image, white text, manage storage, button.
I can manage my storage, but what I'm looking for is mail rules. So let's jump all the way down there.
iCloud backup, 1 day ago, mail, 65.7 megabytes, button.
All right, there we go. We want mail.
iCloud mail.
And you heard it say iCloud mail. So no, I'm not sorting Gmail. I'm not sorting Outlook. I'm not sorting Yahoo, AT&T, or Comcast. This is just iCloud mail.
Use your existing iCloud mail account on this iPhone or set up a free opening double quotation mark at iCloud.com email address. Learn more. Link.
All right, that's pretty self-explanatory. We just opened up mail, and here we are. And here are your features swiping from the left to the right.
iCloud mail. Heading. iCloud mail. Use your existing iCloud mail account. Use on this iPhone. Switch button. On. Account information. Heading. Default email. Cliff@store. Addresses. 5. Button.
All right, it says addresses 5 because I have aliases attached to this. But let's just keep going.
Auto reply. Off. Button.
Don't want to auto reply.
iCloud mail rules. 32. Button.
There we go. iCloud mail rules. You heard it say 32, so let's go in here.
Move messages from contact@growthtrack.com to devotionals folder. Button.
So you just heard it say move messages addressed to and this. But that's basically how you set the rules up.
Move messages from crosswalkmail.com to devotionals. Move messages from email at email.familiarlife.com to move messages from groups IO to Apple Everything folder. Button.
There you go.
Actions available.
You heard it say move messages from groups.io to Apple Everything folder. That's how I have that rule set up. So basically, let's just show you a rule.
Only the first matching rule will be applied to each message as it arrives. It may take a few minutes for changes to take effect.
That means if you accidentally create a second rule with the second set of attributes, it's always going to look at the first one. But let's go create a new rule.
Add rule. Button.
There we go. Add rule.
Cancel. Button. Add rule. Heading. Done. Dimmed. Button. Rule name. Text field.
All right, you can name it. We're going to name this one TTJ.
Keyboard visible.
I guess that makes him famous or something.
Keyboard hidden. TTJ. Misspelled.
All right. Then we're going to go over to the next attribute.
Message is from. Button.
It says message is from, but let's go in here and look at the choices.
Is selected. Has cap. Q. Has listed containing. Button.
Has listed containing.
Has subject containing. Button.
Has subject containing.
Has listed containing. Button. Has is addressed or CC to. Button.
Is addressed or CC to. That means it'll look directly at the CC or carbon copy field.
Is CC to. Button.
CC, same thing. It's going to look at the carbon copy field, but it's looking for specific addresses.
Is addressed to. Button.
Is addressed to.
Selected. Is from. Button.
Let's go back to this. Is addressed to.
Is addressed to. Button.
So that means, say you and your wife, brother, sister share the email account, and the email address specifically, or not address, but it has your name specifically in the subject or the title. It's going to look for that there. That's not the one that I use. I use this one that's already selected.
Selected. Is from. Button.
Is from. So, and it's already selected, so I'll just double tap there.
Text field. Is editing. TTJ. Character mode. Insertion point at end. Message. Is from. Button.
That was the title again, so.
Name or email address. Text field.
Name or email address. So, this is where we're going to type.
Insertion point
The
at end.
name or email address or domain. So think about it. I manage like 4 groups.io groups. So when I did that rule for the Apple everything, I did is addressed or is from, and I put the domain of groups.io because anything that ends in groups.io is going to go into that folder. But you could put a full email address here, and it would only look for that specific email address. But say you have a company that you get email from multiple people. So let's say apple.com. Tim Cook's never going to email me, and neither is any of the presenters at the keynote. But say I did know them and I wanted all their email to go into one folder, I would just put apple.com here, not a specific address. But because I want to make sure that the rule that I'm about to set up goes directly into that technology folder that I have created, I'm going to type TTJ, and I have my thing on words. That's why you're not hearing me type. Tech.
TTJ Tech.
.biz. That means anything that Matt sends me is going to go direct into my tech priority folder, which is what I'm about to select. So that you swipe to the right.
Action.
And you might notice that you're not hearing my swipes or my noise when I swipe. I turn that sound off. That's something you can do in voice settings, accessibility, voiceover, and sounds. It just makes my navigation a lot smoother. Personal preference.
Move to folder button.
And as you see, it already says move to folder, but let's see what our options are.
Move to folder and mark as read button. Move to trash and mark as read button. Forward to an email address and mark as read button.
But you heard the options.
Is. Forward to an email address and mark as read button.
Forward to an email address and mark as read.
Move to trash and mark as read button.
Move to trash and mark as read.
Move to folder and mark as read button.
Move to folder and mark as read.
Mark as read button.
Mark as read.
Forward to button.
Forward to.
Move to trash button.
Move to trash.
Selected. Move to folder button.
And mine is already selected, and it says move to folder. So that's what we're going to select.
TTJ. Text field. Message. Is from button.
Message is from.
Text field is editing. TTJ TechBiz. Character mode.
That
Insertion
means
point at end.
Matt emailed me from any of his ttjtech.biz addresses, whether it's info, shop, support. I don't know how many he has, but any of his email addresses that say that end in ttjtech.biz is going to go into this tech priority folder that I'm about to select.
Action. Move to folder button. Folder.
Now I'm going to, this is where you select the folder name.
Choose /setup button.
There it is. Choose /setup button. Double tap.
Inbox button. Add rule. Back button.
Inbox.
Choose a folder. Inbox button. Choose a folder. Heading.
All right, we're going to choose a folder.
Inbox. Drafts. Sent messages. Deleted archive. Apple everything. Button. Bills. Button. Deleted messages. Devotionals. Button. Domain tasks. Legal. Button. Notes. Button.
And as you can see, these are in alphabetical order.
Office materials. Button. Receipts. Button. Recipes. Button. Sent messages. Button. Streams. Button. Tech priority. Button.
Tech priority. Matt is a great trainer. Knows a lot about tech, so I think this one fits. Tech priority for ttjtech.biz. The great Matt Ballbridge. This is where we're going to send his email to.
TTJ. Text field. Message.
Now, let's go back and look at our attributes.
Cancel. Button.
So.
Add rule. Heading.
It says add rule, which we're already doing.
Done. Button. TTJ. Text field.
That's the title of the rule. It's called TTJ.
Message.
Message.
Is from. Button.
Is from.
Text field. Is editing. TTJ TechBiz. Insertion point at end.
ttjtech.biz.
Action.
The action will be.
Move to folder. Button.
We're going to move it to a folder. And what folder is it going into?
Folder. Tech priority. Button.
Tech priority.
Q.
Now, all we got to do is go back up to the top.
Cancel. Button.
There's the cancel button. Swipe to the right.
Add rule. Heading.
There's the add rule. Just letting us know that's what we're doing.
Done. Button.
And there's the done button.
Done. iCloud Mail. Back button.
So from now on, anytime I get a map from ttjtech.biz, it's going to go into my tech priority folder. That's also where I had John Panarise's mail going to, and a couple other people that I get email from that I wanted to make sure didn't get deleted by accident or that I did not miss, because I have that folder on push. So I'm going to show you. I'm not going to create another one, but I'm going to go back and review a couple so you can see how it works. All mine are from the sender, but you can also do by subject. Say you wanted to say every time you got a recipe, chicken Alfredo, you wanted to go into a chicken Alfredo folder. That's what you would do. Again, you would hit new. You could name it. That's not required. It's only it's an option. But then you would have to select whether you wanted to be addressed to, from, subject, look in the CC field, or so on and so forth. Then you pick the way you want the rule to affect that mail that comes. So do you want to trash it? Do you want to have it marked as unread and be trashed? Do you want it to be forwarded? Whatever. So I pick move to, and then I pick the folder where I want it to go, save it, and I'm done. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's that straightforward. I think when you do it on the Gmail website, number one, they call their folders labels, but it is, pretty much the same. Moving. I don't know what their verbiage is, but that's what it's called, and you're essentially doing the same thing. But again, I think you can do it in the Gmail app on a phone. Don't ask me, because I don't use Gmail. I have a Gmail account because of my YouTube page and because I use Google Voice, but I don't send or receive mail from, well, I do receive some mail from there. And it's mainly from Google for security alerts and stuff like that. But it's not for mail. Nobody knows what my Gmail address is except Google, because I don't send from there. I only receive their advertisements for stuff like NFL Sunday Ticket and when I get a comment on my YouTube page and stuff like that. But other than that, it's iCloud only. As a matter of fact, I have a rule that shows, let's see, let me show it to you.
Only the first matching rule with add route, TTG, riders, child, city of apps 2, move, RPM, utilities, Gmail, move messages addressed to gmail.com to streams folder. Button.
There it is. It says,
actions available.
Let's have it read again.
Circle, Gmail, move messages addressed to gmail.com to streams folder. Button.
Yep. So
actions available.
All my mail that comes from Gmail goes directly into the streams folder. So I forward all my Gmail to my iCloud, so I don't even have my Gmail account on my phone. It's signed into YouTube on my phone. It's signed into my YouTube Studio on my phone, but it's not signed into my Apple Mail, and I don't even have the Gmail app for email on my phone. So that is how Trainer Cliff sorts his mail so he doesn't have 839 new messages unread in his inbox like Trainer Matt. Thanks for joining.
Okay, well, welcome, folks. We're going to demonstrate today how to use GarageBand to import and ultimately to create ringtones that you can use on your devices or use them as text tones or even alarm clock sounds. I think it's important, and of course, I'm excited to be joined by Trainer Cliff here, a brother in Christ from Stir It Up, and always a great business partner. But I think it's important that we point out, Cliff, right, that this is not going to be able to be an in-depth training of the GarageBand app. They're going to need to come to our iPad class or to request one-on-one training or something if they want to really get a deep dive into the app, right? Because we just
right. I mean, because we've already said a million times over that Apple could have easily charged $300, $400, maybe even $500 for this app, just like they do for Logic, Final Cut Pro, and I think there's one more third app that I can't even think of. And the fact that you got Logic and Final Cut Pro available as a subscription service on the iPad. Now, I mean, it only works on the Pros, right? Is that accurate, or does it work on the 10th generation?
It will work on Final Cut will work on anything with the M series processor. Okay. Logic will work on the 10th generation, but not Final Cut Pro.
But yeah, so I mean, if they want more extensive training, like, because you've recorded songs, multi-track stuff with your iPad. I mean, I've heard some stuff that you and your family've done around Christmas, and it sounds excellent. But yeah, if they want that kind of a training, then they can go to stiritup.com or ttjtech.biz. Click on the, consultation link. You get a free hour with either one of us or both of us, depending on what you want to, inquire about. And, we can set something up and even tell you about our training packages and deals that we have going on right now.
Absolutely. And so we're going to assume that you are comfortable enough with VoiceOver to explore this app a little bit, or, get in touch with us if you don't. It's a very, very powerful app. And we have to remember that when we're in a project, that we actually can envision the screen as being divided really into 3 sections. The top section, which has all the controls, and then there's going to be kind of a lower section, which we really won't need for today's demonstration. But if you are trying to play, let's say, a software instrument like a piano or the drums or something, that'll be across the bottom of the iPad on the screen with direct touch. And we then have some additional controls to the right, which will be for adjusting whatever sounds or whatever type of track we are working with. And some of the controls at the top will cause things lower down on the screen to change. So just keep that in mind. We're not going to need to deal with too much of that today. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to show you a shortcut, because when you open GarageBand, you can create a new project, and then you can choose from 10, technically 11, but the 11th one is not a track. It's the sound library where you can download more sounds. So we'll say 10. You can choose from 10 different track types when you create a new project right away. And of course, you can have a mix of track types in your project, but right away you have to choose one. And these are things like keyboard and drums and, strings and all sorts of different things, guitars. And the one we really need to use to make a ringtone is the audio recorder track. And I'm going to show you a shortcut to get to the audio recorder track without having to go through all of the other ones. The other thing I want to tell you before we get started is I have been asked over the years, and Cliff, I'm sure you have as well, I've been asked this question by people. Well, what if I don't want the beginning of the ringtone? I want to skip ahead and I want to start with the chorus of the song or something. It's going to be my recommendation that if you want to do that and you cannot find that exact clip already in existence, I'm going to recommend that you use an app like Fairlight Recording Studio on the iPad, or if you're using a Mac, what would you say, Cliff? Amadeus on the Mac, probably?
They have, to create a ringtone, yes, Amadeus Pro is probably the best one. I mean, I heard you can do it in Logic, but I have not extensively dove into that.
Well,
and
that's
Final
the
Cut
thing.
Pro you've used that over the years. I think you could actually do some track editing in there also, right? Without video.
And even in GarageBand you can do it. But the thing is with VoiceOver, because the app is so complex because there's so much there, I think that part of it, if you need to clip and split clips and merge and delete certain parts and start in the middle, I really think you're going to be best off to start with Fairlight if you're using the iPad. And since we're demoing this on the iPad, if we want to keep it iPad all the way, I would recommend Fairlight. Or really, you could even do this in voice memos. You could trim the clip, like the start time, to be where you want it to be, so that we take care of that.
And just because we might be talking to the other audience on Windows, if it's still available, because I haven't had a need for it, but you can clip and do ringtones within Goldwave also. There's also third-party apps on the Mac side. My buddy Josh over at Softorino has a suite of apps. The one's called Walter Pro, and that's how you would import the ringtones, but he does actually have a ringtone editor called Ringtone Maker. And you can go to softorino.com to learn and purchase more. I mean, it's a subscription base now, but it's a very, very good deal. I've been beta testing them apps for him and tweaking and helping him out develop that suite of apps for probably the last 2 or 3 years. So it's a great company. Accessibility is one of their top priorities, just like Ruganiba with the Audio Hijack and Farrago and Loopback apps that we use. So just great people to work with, good teams, and accessibility is I'm not going to say they're number one priority, but it's at the top of the list.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you want to do this on your iPhone or iPad the whole way, and you don't want to involve a traditional computer, it does eventually have to go through GarageBand. So even if you find an app on the App Store that says like custom ringtone maker or anything like that, really what it's allowing you to do is that trimming that we're talking about. Like I want to start in the middle and play 30 seconds of the chorus or something. So that's all that's going to eventually everything, unless you're using a traditional computer, in other words, Mac or PC, everything has to go through GarageBand in order to be a ringtone, unless you, of course, have purchased that ringtone from Apple iTunes Store or, it shipped with your phone or what have you. But otherwise, you're going to have to get it into GarageBand. So get your song ready. We're not going to cover that in this demo today. And we want to end up in either an M4A or an MP3 file format. And we're going to then show you how to bring that in. You can save that in your iCloud drive or on an external drive or wherever you want. And we're going to skip ahead. We're going to say that we've already done that. And now what we're going to do, I've got my iPad.
Passwords, magnet measure. Keynote, iMovie, GarageBand.
And I'm going to open that.
Double tap to open. GarageBand, hide sidebar, button.
Okay. On the right side of the iPad here, we're going to have some controls. And I'm going to, as I mentioned, I'm going to show you a shortcut that's going to pre-configure the settings the way that you already want them to be pre-configured. And that's going to be really, really important. So up here at the top right,
new audio recording button.
There's a button that actually says new audio recording. And praise God, I just happened to land right on that. There's a regular new,
forward, new create song button, select, but create song button.
Okay, so there's a create song button that's going to give you a general blank project, and then you'll have to pick the type of track, and you can pick the audio recorder track. But then that's also going to change some of the settings to, when we choose the audio recording track, the settings are more appropriate already for the ringtone. So I really think we ought to pick new audio recording.
New audio recording button. New audio. My songs button.
That saves us several steps in changing default settings to work best for the ringtone. And I honestly think in the interest of time, I don't even want to get into what those settings are. If you accidentally picked the other one and said create song, just get back out of it, go back to the projects and choose the new audio recording track, because that's going to put the track in here already. We're in the correct mode. And what we now are going to do is we are going to need to import our audio file, which is the key step here in doing this. So I will begin to swipe to the right. At the very top left,
My Songs button
is the My Songs button. That's how you get out of the project, save the project, and come back to the project browser. But if we start swiping to the right,
browser button.
Okay, and we're going to just leave that alone.
Tracks button. Mixer button. Rewind button.
So there's some different things we can show there. The mixer. We're not going to do that right now. Here's our
play, record, master volume, 100% metronome, settings, metronome, button, settings, help, ruler, playback head, song sections, button, input settings, fun, selected, studio.
All right, so we're going to leave all that alone. What we need to do in order to import our audio into this project is we need to show the loop browser. Now, in order to make that loop browser button even become available, we have to first double tap on tracks up here at the top. So go back to the top left.
Button to My Songs, browser, tracks, button.
And double tap on tracks.
Tracks. My Songs, button.
Now you'll notice if you swipe right,
browser, perform, button.
that the tracks button has now changed to the perform button. And we're going to keep swiping to the right.
Mixer, but FX, button, rewind, button.
Notice we have FX now.
Play, record, master, volume, metronome, loops, button.
But notice we now have a loops button that we didn't have before. And that is going to be where we start. So again, to review that, when you open your new audio recording project, the first thing you're going to want to do is double tap on tracks so that it changes to perform. Now you are ready to swipe to the right. It's past the rewind and the play button and the master volume and all of that.
Metronome.
And the metronome.
Loops button.
And it's the loops button. We're going to double tap on loops to show the loop browser.
selected. Apple loops button. 1 of 3.
There are 3 categories here of loops that we can import into this project. Apple loops, which are going to be different little jingles and stingers and little transitions and so forth that Apple has provided with the GarageBand app, and you can download more of them from that 11th panel that I told you about, the sound library. Go to the right.
Files button. Music button.
Okay.
3 of 3.
So those are the 3, files and music. And of course, music is going to access your music library. And that's not what we're going to do today. We could do that if we ever needed to.
I was just about to ask for, even though it's Apple Music, if you're a subscriber, you can grab a song from there and make a ringtone with no issues, right?
Well, so there are a couple of caveats. The first thing is that the song that you're going to grab from your music library actually has to be purchased. And the reason for that is because music that is obtained from Apple Music is copy protected. And that's true of any streaming service, whether it's Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, Spotify. Those are DRM, as they call them, digital rights management, protected. They will not work in other apps, even other Apple apps. So you cannot bring an Apple Music track in here. It would have to be, you'd have to go pay the 99 cents or whatever to buy it from iTunes. The other thing is, not only does it have to be purchased, but it has to be downloaded. As you may know, with iCloud and iCloud Music Library and all of these things, you can play music that's not actually resident on your device, and it will download as needed and remove as needed and things like that. But if you're going to use it in GarageBand, you actually have to download the track to your iPad or iPhone first before you can bring it into GarageBand. So
okay, but if you did it not the other way, but let's go to the other side. Say you're not an Apple Music subscriber, but you are subscribed to iTunes Match. All the music that you would do with iTunes Match is stuff that you've imported from a PC or a Mac anyway, so there should be no issues in making that into a ringtone as long as it was downloaded to your device. Is that accurate?
That's 100% accurate, yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly correct. Yep. All right, so we're going to choose Files, which is the second one. We're going to find an audio file.
Files
Okay.
Apple loops selected. File music button.
Now,
3 of 3.
What we're looking at here is our loop browser that has files already in it. I may not even have any in it on this iPad because this is my newest iPad. I don't know. Let's go to the right.
Search files. Dictate. 24. Let me be there. Browse items from the Files app button.
Okay. I do actually have a song that I brought in to do some testing. And you say, well, that's only one. Where's all the rest of my stuff? Well, you have to double tap on that button that says Browse Items from the Files app. So the first step here is to bring something from the Files app into the Loop browser, and then we're going to do a second step to bring it from the Loop browser into the project. So I'm going to double tap on this Browse Items from the Files app because I have a feeling that I know that song that's in there is not. We're going to violate copyright law if we play that, so we don't want to do that. So we're going to go over here.
Browse items from the Files app button.
So that I can find something royalty free. All right.
Siri 180.
Now, where am I in my Files app? Let's take a look. We're still in the GarageBand app, but we're viewing the Files interface here. Now.
Orange button.
All right.
Cancel more. Selected. Recents. Shared. Recently used. 2000. Location. iCloud Drive.
I'm going to pick iCloud Drive. And I'm going to pick audio files, which happens to be a folder that I have in iCloud Drive. You may be looking somewhere completely different.
Book file, audio files. O1 Writer GN.
And I know there's some royalty-free stuff in here.
Page 2000.
Let's see what it might be.
Page capture. Call buzz. Book music. Byte crop. Off one.
I kind of wanted.
Byte crop. Book music ending.
Well, this will work. This actually came from GarageBand on the Mac, and it is the ending that I have chosen to use for the book that I wrote about the Titanic, which you can get on Apple Books. So it's called Book Music Ending.
Book music ending 4/10/21 8:29 p.m. Audio uploaded 4/10/21.
Now this is a royalty-free sound, so we are not violating any copyright law. We can play this as much as we want. but I have to bring it into the loop browser by double tapping it.
Book music ending. 4. Apple Loops button.
Okay.
1 of 3.
Now, presumably it downloaded it to the iPad first because it said it was uploaded. It was in iCloud, but it downloaded it and then
I don't know if
brought
they
it.
could hear, but I could. It made that little, I don't even know what you would call it, but it was like a modified beeping sound, like as if you would hear on a PC or a Mac when a file is complete. I could hear that little sound of when it
Yep.
was completed, downloaded to your device. So,
And if we look to the right in the browser now,
Selected music search files. Dictate 24. Let me be there. Book music ending. 4:10:21. 8:29 p.m.
There it is.
M4A
and it's an M4A,
is available.
and you notice there are actions.
Delete. Activate.
So
Default.
if we don't want this in the loop browser, we can delete it without actually deleting it from iCloud, but it's just right now it's in the loop browser. We can play it to see what it sounds like with a simple double tap.
Book music ending. 4:10:21. 8:29 p.m. M4A. Now play.
And we can
Book
pause
music
it.
ending. 4:10.
Now, we need to actually drag this onto the timeline in the project. So I'm going to explain to you how we do that, and then I'm going to do it. I'm not going to talk too much while I'm doing it because I need to concentrate for one thing, and I want you to hear what it sounds like as we do it for another. So the way that you're going to do this is literally to double tap, hold, and drag. But let me explain that and give you some better information on that. I would recommend that you sort of start near the right side of the iPad, double tap and hold, wait until you hear those 3 rising tones that VoiceOver famously plays when you are long pressing on something. And I have found that you really even need to wait another second or two. If you start to move too quickly, you may get some undesired results. Wait a couple seconds even after the rising tone, and then you've started near the right side. Drag your finger across the iPad screen as far to the left as you can. And if it's working properly, VoiceOver should give you some feedback as you do that. And so I'm going to demonstrate it now. Once we've done it, I'll recap again. So let's try it here, folks. Here's
Book music ending.
there it is.
Drop to import it. Drop to import. Imported file onto audio recorder. Audio track. Track 1.
Okay.
Browser.
It sounds as though it worked. Now, as I kept dragging, it was interrupting itself, so I don't know for sure that I got it as far to the left as I need to, but you can adjust it or you can trim it later. But let's just take a listen.
Perform mix F rewind.
We're going to rewind. Maybe I can actually find it by swiping right here.
Select record master metronome loops settings help ruler song sections audio recorder selected book music ending 4:10:21 8:29 p.m. audio region starting at 0 seconds length 18 seconds.
All right, perfect. Praise God. It starts at 0 seconds. I got it all the way over. So let's hit the play button. We are now, remember, in the project. Okay, we're not in the loop browser anymore. We're actually in the project, and we're going to find out what that sounds like.
Myself F rewind play button.
And it's only 18 seconds long. We might as well listen to the rest of it for fun. Now to review, and it should have...
Play stop.
Whoops, it's going to loop.
Select tracks on ruler.
We're going to stop that, okay?
Rewind. Rewind.
And I always do a quadruple tap on the rewind button to make sure it's all the way back to the beginning.
could you have used the magic tap to stop or pause the playback there?
I did not even try that, to be honest with you. I just did I think you might be able to, but I don't usually. I just went to the stop button and did it.
Okay.
Now, before we go any further, let's recap what we've done because we did it kind of quickly and I want to describe it one more time. The first thing we had to do, you recall, we created an audio recording with the new audio recording button instead of the regular new song button or create song button, because that automatically gives us the right settings. We then double tapped on the tracks button and it changes to perform. We swipe, we want to make sure we're at the top. So if you need to 4-finger single tap at the top left of the sword on an iPhone, just the top, then do that first. But you're going to find that the My Songs button is the top left. I think on the iPhone, it actually doesn't say My Songs. I think it says something else like menu or something like that, because it combines two things into one due to the smaller screen. But when you keep swiping to the right now, you're going to find the loops button, which you're going to double tap. And you want to choose from whatever you want. We did files. Maybe you're doing music if it's in your music library. Just remember those caveats we talked about earlier. But we did files, which was the second of the three choices. We then needed to swipe to the right to find the button that said browse items in the Files app, because the browser we're currently seeing, it's not like other apps where you just automatically see the whole Files app. It's giving you a loop browser specific to GarageBand. So you first have to bring the file into the loop browser. So we hit that button that says browse items from the Files app. Now we have our normal Files app interface that we're used to, and wherever we need to go, we find the file of interest. In my case, it was called Book Music Ending. Or Book Ending, whatever it was. So I double tap on it to bring it in, and it immediately imports it into the loop browser of GarageBand. Now we need to get it from the loop browser to the project onto the timeline. And so what we said we do is we go to the bottom right side of the screen, and I did it close to the bottom. We double tap and hold. Well, first we locate by swiping left or right the file that we want in the loop browser, obviously. But then we double tap and hold, starting at the right-hand side. Remember, wait another second or two after you hear the little boop, 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 those little rising tones, because I've done it where I haven't waited, and it ends up, not only does it fail to import, but sometimes it actually deletes the song from the loop browser, and I have to go back and add it again from the Files app. And praise God, I had forgotten when we started this recording, a little behind-the-scenes confession. I said to Cliff, I don't remember what it was that I figured out in the spring I had to do, but praise God for his favor and revelation, and he reminded me before we ever started of what I needed to do, and that was it. You need to hold your finger still another second or so after you hear those three rising tones, and then swipe to the left and keep going as far as you can before lifting your finger, because you want to get that ringtone imported to the very, very beginning of the track. Now, if there's a second or so, it's not a big deal. If you find that it's way off, like, 8 or 10 or 12 seconds, then I would encourage you to undo and just try it again. It is possible to try to move things in GarageBand, but again, it's very complex as an app, so I think you're going to be a lot better off to just undo and have another go at it. And remember, you can also trim in apps like voice memos too, so that you could always bring this into there and trim those seconds off if you really needed to. So we have the song in GarageBand in the timeline now. We are ready to make it a ringtone. In order to do that, believe it or not, we actually have to leave the project. So I'm going to go up to the upper left.
Audio ruler, song section, My Songs button.
And I'm going to double tap on My Songs to get back to the
Set
browser.
My Songs.
Project.
Sidebar button.
Project browser. And the first project at the very top, because it's going to be viewing by most recent here.
New audio recording, create song, select icons, search, recent, My Song 47, file, today, 1:14 a.m., 11.8 megabytes.
Okay.
Actions available.
That's the one we want. You heard it say My Song 47. There's a lot of projects that I've created that I've named properly, but apparently there were also 46 others that I never did name from years back before I was probably really very competent with this, or I was just still learning. So I've never bothered to go back and either delete those or change their names. But we are going to change the name of this one, and that's going to be the first step. You could do that as a part of the ringtone creation process, but I don't want to do that because I really want the name to be correct even in the GarageBand project browser so that I don't forget what it is. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to long press on that file.
My Song 47.
That GarageBand project, long press. You could also use the rotor with your actions, but I like to do the long press.
Copy, move, share, remove, down, keep downloaded, get info, rename button.
We're going to say rename.
Text field is edited. Delete selection deleted. My song 47.
I'm gonna call it. Let's call it. We had called it like books music, but I want to make it different so I know what it's for. So I'm gonna call it Titanic books.
State Titanic.
And maybe I'll put let's see, Titanic hyphen
Titanic.
and we'll just say music. Whoops, I misspelled word music there. Okay. Now I've typed Titanic music. Press
Done.
Now,
Hide sidebar.
you'll see now.
New audio. Create song. New audio recording. Select icon. Search recents. Titanic music. File. Today. 1.
Okay, so you see that I've changed the name. We're now going to long press it again.
Copy. Button.
And swipe right.
Get info. Rename. Duplicate. Show and include tags. Delete. Dismiss content.
I missed it.
Rename. Show and enclose it. Get and keep download from share. Button.
We're going to choose share. It was much earlier on in the menu than I thought. I just totally missed it. But it's share. And we're going to choose share.
Cancel. Button.
Now we're going to swipe to the right to see what our options are.
Share song. Heading. Choose a format for Titanic music. Song. Button. Ringtone. Button. Project. Button. Project.
Okay.
Tap to send your song as.
So you hear 3 choices there. Song, ringtone, and project. Song is, of course, what you would do if you've created an entire song or any other audio file that you want to be able to send to people or post to YouTube or SoundCloud or anything else. You want to end up with a regular audio file, M4A or MP3 or a lossless format if you want. But you would choose song. And then the third option was project. If you want to be able to actually send this project to somebody else and have the entire GarageBand project available for them to edit, or you can even use that for collaboration purposes. Let's say that 2 people are working on a song project together. They can use that project choice for collaboration purposes. We're going to choose the one in the middle, ringtone.
Ringtone. Button. Ringtone. Alert. Your ringtone length needs to be adjusted. Your ringtone needs to be 30 seconds or less and will be automatically shortened to the.
And I think that's just a general message. It actually is already, short enough.
Cancel. Continue. Cancel. Button.
Okay. What we now have is a screen that's going to ask us to verify the name of our ringtone and possibly some other information. So I'm going to just show this to you.
Export ringtone. Heading. Export. Button.
There's the button we will hit when we're ultimately ready, but just go to the right.
Name of the ringtone. Heading. Titanic music. Text field.
See, so we could have changed it there, which would have changed the ringtone's name without modifying the project name. But I really wanted the project name to be easy to discern also. So we're just going to leave it as the match for that. And then.
No exported ringtones. Dimmed.
Okay.
No exported ringtones.
That is telling me that I've never exported any other ringtones on this iPad. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment after I finish this step. So let's go ahead to the left.
Type name of the export button.
We're going to hit export.
Alert. Ringtone export successful.
Okay.
Use sound as button.
You can say use sound as.
Okay. Button.
Or you can just hit OK. And if you say use sound as, you're going to be able to choose like use it as your text tone, as your ringtone or something like that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to hit OK.
Okay.
And
Class
then
test 24.
I'm going to go into my settings and show you that
Snoop settings.
it's there. So
settings. Do not disturb airplane. Select Apple cap can focus sounds. Selected sounds.
And now if we look here.
Change with the volume ringtone. Journey button.
Okay, right now the ringtone that I have is called Journey. But if I double tap on that.
Settings. Titanic music button. You've got mail. You've got mail.
And look at that. It actually put me right on the one called Titanic music. Praise God. I have a whole list of ringtones here.
You've got You and I, Voice of Truth.
Some of them are purchased, and then some of them are,
You've got Titanic music button. Reflection arpeggio.
Okay, so there it is. So if I want to use that new ringtone I just created as my ringtone, I just simply double tap it, and there it is. Because you saw that it's in the list under settings, the same place all of my other ringtones are. I actually really like the one that I have, so we're not going to change it, but I wanted to show you that we could. Now, I
So
want
if
to
I do
go
a clean install, will these ringtones be available to me, or do I have to go back to GarageBand to import them again?
Well, so that's that. Yeah, that was the next thing I exactly was gonna get to. So if you have that ringtone already created as a GarageBand project, as I do, and if you use iCloud like I do, and like Trainer Cliff does, so my book music, we changed the name to Titanic Music, was that project name, remember? That is now available in iCloud, which means it's available across all of my devices. Here's my iPhone, for example, and I'll just go real quick here. Launch GarageBand. We'll use SIRI to save time there. Now I'm in my
To the right, Alto Carolyn medley, file, climb Alto, out, screenshot.
accidentally took a screenshot there as I was trying to adjust the volume, so we'll delete that screenshot real quick. Okay.
GarageBand Recents, heading, new audio recording, button, GarageBand Recents, create song, more, search, dictate, Titanic Music, file, uploaded, 1/3.
Look at that. There it is. It's in the iCloud, GarageBand for iOS folder already because I use iCloud. So if you do a clean install, to get back to Cliff's question, the actual ringtone is not going to stay in your selection of ringtones. And quite honestly, I don't even I think if you do a backup from iCloud, it might, but don't hold me to that. But Cliff might actually know the answer to that. But I don't. I think it might if you do an iCloud backup. But if I do a completely,
I've never really done a garage band ringtone. I've done it for
Okay.
demonstrations, but I've never saved it because
yeah,
I do mine by batches with another app that I mentioned earlier. But I'm almost 98% sure it does, because if I do a backup, those ringtones that I've batch put on my phone, they are
Right.
saved in iCloud.
Right.
So
I think it does.
Yeah, so I'm
I'm
almost
thinking
positive.
specifically about my iPhone too, where I've done more of them because I use them as alarms, And I do think when I restore the iPhone from a backup, it does keep the ringtones. But if you set up a device as new, as I often do with my iPads, then they won't have them in your sounds. But all you got to do is go into GarageBand and export that project again. You don't have to do the whole drag and drop and all the, those steps we did, because the project will literally still be intact in iCloud. You just need to long press it, choose share, and then choose to export. And choose to export as a ringtone. The other thing I want to go back to is you saw that it said in there, no exported ringtones. Now it has one exported ringtone. That is on a per device basis. And what that allows me to do is manage existing ringtones that I've already created on that device. And so if in fact I have others that I want to delete so that they no longer show up when I go to settings and sounds, that's where I have to do it, is in GarageBand. I have to actually choose a ringtone that I want to export, and then I go to that manage section. I think it says manage ringtones or something like that once there are some to manage. Mine, that was the very first one I had ever done on that particular device.
All right. Well, we thank Trainer Matt for that great demonstration. Again, we've done this before, but it was on a different platform. Sound wasn't very great, but we want to make sure that we get this, to people who want to use. And again, if you want more extensive training on GarageBand that Trainer Matt has experience with making a multi-track audio song, recording, metas, or Bluetooth or external keyboards, because he does play keyboards and has the ability to connect different instruments and devices to iPads and even the Mac. He knows how to do that. Anyway, if you want any training on that, reach out to ttjtech.biz, go to the contact us page, send an email, schedule a consultation, and do whatever you need to do to get in touch with us that way. And other than that, thanks for joining us with Trainer Matt. I'm Cliff from StirredUp.com on GarageBand and importing a single track ringtone. Thanks for joining today's session. Didn't get your question answered? Have an additional comment or feedback? Email us info@ttjtech.biz or info@stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U. That's STURITUP.com. Or check out our websites for additional resources. That's ttjtech.biz or stiritup.com. And remember, subscribe to the newsletter when you're there. That way, you don't miss out on any upcoming announcements or events. Thanks for joining us. God bless, and see you next time.